In the big bilge tank, we'll keep you in the know. In the big bilge tank, we'll fix your techie woes.
And we'll break things and we'll make things till we're all together raking, and
We'll raise a cup of grog down in the big bilge tank. In the big bilge tank, come and join our pirate crew. In the big bilge tank, we will show you what to do.
and we'll hack it till we crack it, and we'll tell the world about it and forget to tidy up.
That's why it's now a bilge tank.
Hello, welcome to Bilge Tank 090. I'm joined by Tim from PiBorg.
Hello.
And
Paul.
yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Hi Paul. We don't know
Hi.
who this guy is.
So we're Phil's bouncers this week.
Oh dear. Yeah. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about this little fellow here.
So Octacam, yeah, we're going to have a special episode about that.
Adding to our
next week.
ridiculous list of octopus-themed or cephalopod-themed,
Cephalo.
cephalopod-themed things.
Yes, aquatic.
And also briefly touching upon the lovely new Google thing, which you can find not necessarily on the cover of the new MagPi, but in
a box.
inside,
It is
in a
the new
box.
MagPi.
It is the MagPi.
There's a whole hat kit, AI inside.
It's
just
bonkers.
down high.
There's a clever box thing and the magazine. The box looks like a magazine, but you open the box and there's a magazine and a box in it, and it's got this kit,
Boxception.
including a free hat.
Mm-hmm.
That's almost unprecedented. But first
Anyway,
and foremost,
First, we're going to talk all things Pyborg.
robots.
Awesome. So, Tim, what are Pyborgs?
What are PiBorgs? Well, PiBorg is the name of our Raspberry Pi bits. That's basically, we sell motor controllers for the Raspberry Pi, but we've extended that. We sell robots, and now we run a race series called Formula Pi. And these are both robots that compete in Formula Pi series. This one here, for example, is the GP or Grand Prix robot, and this one here is our Monster series, which we did a Kickstarter for recently, and that now is actually running in the Formula Pi series. The first racing of which is actually on Monday, so you can catch that.
Two separate races, one that has just the big bad boy.
That's right. So we originally started off with this one, which is basically a Raspberry Pi Zero.
Let's get
and
that close up there.
there we go. That's stuff. The Raspberry Pi Zero. You can probably catch that underneath.
Yep.
One of our motor controller boards that's actually inside that little 9-volt battery. 4 motors and wheels, and the Raspberry Pi camera on the front of it. And the point is, you write software, and these robots autonomously control themselves. Self-driving robots drive around the track and compete against other people who write code. So rather than being sort of a race of car versus car, or who can build the best robot, it's a race of code.
So standard platform.
That's really cool. Yeah.
It's all about, proper drones, really.
Yeah, that's right. We actually have some software that we sort of send out to people who compete that they can start with. So if you don't know too much about it, you can always learn very quickly with that.
Yep.
You don't have to write your own software from scratch or anything. That's quite a complex thing to do. Some people actually do, but to be competitive, you can actually just enter with our code, change a few things, and do
a bit of tuning.
That's exactly it.
Someone's actually 3D printed directly onto their
Yes,
software.
This is really interesting. Okay, so people buy their own kind of Monster Borg or Diddy Borg, right? Sorry, not Diddy Borg. What's it called?
So okay,
So you buy your
this
own
is
kit.
called these are called the Yeti Borgs, the original ones.
Yep.
And yes, you could buy the Yeti Borgs. We don't actually sell the Yeti Borg anymore.
Yep.
But a few people did get them with the Kickstarter, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But we actually, for the race series, we provide all the robots. We tune all the robots so that they're equal. Yeah. No one has an advantage. So it is sort of everything is calibrated exactly to each other. So you don't have an advantage of, oh, I've got a bit more money and I can spend more on the robot and have faster motors or something like that. And instead, you've actually got to compete with your code. You've got to actually make your code good. So what we do is we send out this what we call the Yeti lid.
Yep.
And these go out sent to people blank when you enter, and you decorate it like this beautiful decoration here of Paxo Parrot. And you send that back to us, and basically we put the lid on the robot, and well, I'll give you an
It's got a little
idea
holder
of
for
the
an
other
SD
one.
card, hasn't it?
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
This one's the Halo Goodalls.
I'll just stick that under there. You can see the SD card. Oh, I can't coordinate.
Can we get that?
SD card holder under there. So they send in the lid with their software basically on SD
On
card.
the other side, that was probably nope. No one can get it. Okay, elusive SD card. Well, I'll tell you what. In the back of this one, you can probably see it down there.
Okay.
That's with the Raspberry Pi 3 in the much bigger Monster series, which you can see here has significantly larger motors, significantly larger wheels. It is a different class.
Cool.
But yeah, both of these are just £37 to enter, and that gets you a whole season's worth of racing and some really cool prizes and things at the end of it.
And the plate, you get to keep your plate at the end of it.
You do. We can send the plates back, or if you prefer, and most people have gone with this so far, we have a Hall of Fame where we put people's plates up and it stays forever on the Formula Pi track. So when you actually have a look at the Formula Pi track, we've got all the competitors' plates from seasons. But we actually have quite a few people who are entering each year. So you can either reuse your same lid, or you can basically we'll send you out a new one with each season.
Yep.
And you can decorate a new one.
Yeah.
So this
So
can
the
be,
new one's got the Thunderbolt controller. Can we take a close-up look at that?
yes, we can.
Cool. So drag it, hold that up to the camera.
Nice and high. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So
And
that's
it
the,
focused.
is that
5
focused?
amps dual output. Beautiful.
Yeah, so that's basically two 5 amp, well, they are motor controllers, so they have sort of under voltage lockout, they have short circuit protection, they have all sorts of things in them.
Yep. So how many
They're actually
channels is this? How many
quite
motors?
meaty. So this is for 2 motors, so
Okay.
this one goes out to 1 motor, this is out to another motor, and the centre 2 are for your power in.
Okay.
It also has on it a DC-DC.
Yep.
So this powers the Raspberry Pi.
Yep.
So from a one battery source, you can power the Pi, you can power your robot's motors. That's everything sort of included there.
And on the back of there,
And,
you've got the battery pack. You've got double A's, yeah.
That's right. On this one, we have double A's. So there's something we call a Thunderbolt lid, which is the 10AA pack, and this lid that goes on top with additional LED and a switch.
Yep.
That's probably something I didn't mention in the top right hand corner. Here is a red, green, blue LED, so you can sort of set that. For the race series, we actually use that to determine if these, because these robots will drive either. I'll just drive one in front here. They'll drive that way, or if they're upside down, they will also drive.
the other way.
So yeah. So yeah, basically, when they're upside down, it's it's hard to determine who it is. Competitor 33, when they flip upside down, it's really obvious because there's a nice bright LED underneath that we can see and and chase them around the track, and we know how each competitor is actually doing. So
Okay. Would you recommend kind of lipos for this? Would they be okay?
they would be okay for
need to
this
do your
for
own
the
protection.
series that we're running. We're running each of them exactly the same, and we know with the AA batteries we can charge them all the same. We've got everything exactly the same, so that they're all matched. But yeah, if you're running your own, you can obviously substitute this with your own battery pack if you like.
Okay.
But this will actually run on a set of AAs for 3 hours. It was running
Really?
around the track. So
It's amazing.
I actually question if you do need to upgrade to a lithium polymer battery. But
Yeah.
that it
Sweet.
is quite cool. Yeah.
Cool. So in this case, you've just got a PS2, PS3 controller.
Yeah, I've just got a PS2, a PS3 remote. Sorry, yes. So obviously on the racetrack, they're running around from the camera on the front of them.
Yep.
But yeah, just for a demonstration because we haven't got a track here, and it would try and chase after these reds and greens and blues and probably crash into everything expensive here. So so I'm just sort of controlling it with that. Whoa, sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Point it in the right
kill them,
direction.
man.
Robots
That
taking
didn't happen.
over.
So yeah.
Cool.
But they are also, you probably can't see because the table's not grippy enough, but they're actually from going flat chat to flat reverse, you can actually get them to flip over under their own steam. So
Yeah, I can see it burning out there. If you can leave kind of good like skid marks across the table, I will be impressed.
well, I'll try.
Reverse.
Anyway.
Wow. Cool. That's amazing. Yeah. Okay, so this is kind of, you do PiBorg, but this is not actually, you do a lot higher level stuff than this, don't you? Kind of
That's
your
right,
knowledge base, your...
There are two sides to our business, and one is actually the PiBorg products. The other is we do a lot of consultancy for big companies
Okay.
for control theory. Basically, any control systems design is really where our expertise lies.
Yep.
But that means that when we actually do go and make these boards for the Raspberry Pi, they're very robust. They're
They're fully featured.
yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah.
We know what we're doing. That's what we're supposed to be saying. But anyway, yeah.
So I look at 5 amps and I'm like, whoa, scary. Whereas you look at it and you're like, well, I suppose I could demean myself.
We actually do have a controller which is 55 amps at the minute for the Raspberry Pi.
Yeah.
But there
I've
will
got
be
one
a
downstairs.
version. Yeah, you do, don't you?
I
Yeah.
put it locked in the case because I want to automate a lazy boy. And
A
you're
lazy
going
boy
to tell
would
me
be
how
awesome.
to do that, aren't you?
Yeah, sure.
Without setting myself on fire.
Well, we can go and do that after this.
Yeah, brilliant. Because that's like
Lazy boy
55
then,
amps.
stat.
That's the one that you put like wheelchair motors in and things. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
And this is what the Didyborg. No, what's the
Doodleborg.
Doodleborg? Yeah,
Yeah, we have
Doodleborg uses.
So some of you have probably seen we have a 3 horsepower, what's 120 kilograms or something like that. A bit over 18 stone.
That's
but,
about my weight. Yeah, totally.
If we sit you on top of it and drive around, it really won't notice you're there. It is
Okay.
very, very quick.
Sweet.
But yeah, that's something we had to demonstrate the power of these motor controllers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And then on to Robot Wars.
Well, I would like to enter Robot Wars. I'm still umming and ahhing.
So you've considered it.
We have.
What
yeah.
stopped you?
Um,
Time.
Time is probably one thing. One I think is it's very much oriented for teams of people and not
Okay.
for commercial.
Yeah.
So we couldn't, for example, put a big PiBorg logo on the top of the robot and say
Yeah.
this is PiBorg, which is probably what we want to do. But yeah, well, I totally understand that with the BBC. But so then we sort of it comes down to time. It would just be a cool thing for us to do, and we probably will do it at some stage because we're a bit mad like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So control systems. Is there anything cool you can talk about there without kind of giving away secrets from clients?
Probably, some of the cool things that are coming. I was actually in a meeting yesterday, and there's not too much I can actually say about this, but we're talking about something like Formula Pi, but on steroids.
Okay.
This is something which is like Formula Pi, but using much larger vehicles.
Cars.
Karts is specifically around the
karts.
go-kart track.
Kart.
yeah.
Okay, right.
So that is something coming soon. I can sort of we're really looking for teams of people who are very passionate about controlling. So some of the competitors from Formula Pi might be interested in that.
Yeah. Because SparkFun have the ABC, the Autonomous Vehicle Challenge over in the States. To have something of that caliber over here would be just
cool.
like sweet.
Yeah, exactly. I think what we're doing with Formula Pi is sort of each season we get a bit quicker, we get a bit more complex. So the next season, for example, probably shouldn't tell everyone this, but next season we're going to have
Don't tell anyone.
accelerometers and gyroscopes and
More
things like that.
sensitive.
So, but
You've done your first thing though. Your first thing is to get people away from driving these things to making them true drones, to true autonomous vehicles.
that's right. Yeah.
And after that, it's just staging up until common knowledge about how to write drone software
It
becomes a
really
thing.
teaches people actually how to do this, and sort of that gets people
At
into.
some point, will you remove the colours from the tracks
Uh,
and just
yes,
say you're on your own?
Radar.
So certainly in Formula Pi at the minute, what we're trying to do is make it as accessible as possible for everyone. So we want to make it as easy as possible. There is absolutely nothing that says you have to use those colours around the track. You can actually just navigate on the outsides of the track. You can navigate, but it is a bit complicated to do just based on the
with
camera
camera,
from the
yeah.
Raspberry Pi because there's a fairly narrow field of view there.
Yep.
If we had a camera up high and far away from the robot, we could do a bit more. But that's sort of coming soon.
So Mr. Kirby on the chat here, he's just saying you got third 1 year at SparkFun ABC. So it's nice to have somebody who's been there, done that.
Oh, great! Yeah, well,
Because that's pretty. There's a pretty high level of competition there, and
Well,
some
I
really
think-
fun stuff as well.
I think if you're interested in something like that, send us an email and we can put you on to the right people and we can potentially get you competing in this. But
Who do they write to?
Okay, so Self-Driving Track Days is the company that we're working in conjunction with.
Okay.
So you could go to selfdrivingtrackdays.com and actually register sort of interest there, or send us an email and we'll forward your details on and all that sort of thing. Either way, yeah.
Sweet.
Ooh,
Okay.
pretty
Cool.
great.
So what's your personal project at the moment? Do you have personal projects? robot-wise?
I
or is
do,
kind
but
of doing the PiBorg stuff? Is that your?
I think sort of just trying to improve what we have at the office and make more and more cool things is really my personal project. And
Right.
so we're just
very
getting.
much is your personal project.
It is. It's
Yeah.
very much a hobby. But
The fun
hobby
side of
business,
things.
it's lovely.
Yeah. But you have a room full of like CNC and stuff, don't you?
That's right.
What's kind of your setup? 'Cause this is
so-
where you've been kind of the guiding light to me. Seeing the 55 amp Diablo encouraged me to kind of look at things that are way outside of my comfort zone.
That's great. That's exactly
Large
what
bodies
we
of
want.
water, dams freak me out, and kind of high current, high voltage stuff that's more than a few volts kind of scares the bejesus out of me.
Yeah.
So you've been kind of encouraging there.
I totally understand the high voltage scare factor. I think that's a very healthy fear to have.
Right.
I think with most high current, it's not typically a problem. I'm not going to say it's not always a problem.
Right.
But say for example, if you've got a lead acid battery or something, short of if you're short circuiting the battery, if you don't use a fuse or something, then it can be problematic.
Right.
Otherwise, you're very unlikely to have big problems with it. With high voltage, obviously, high voltage can kill people.
Yeah.
And
But
so we don't
48
like
volts
that.
upwards, you
But,
started to get into where
I think
you probably should take more care.
so
3 volts
with
can
these
be-
we actually go to 40 volts.
Yeah.
So I think the lowest you can actually go with that is I think something like 7.5 volts.
Yep.
To actually give enough power to the DC to actually power the Pi.
Yep.
But yeah, you can run off a 12 volt lead acid battery. You could run off 2 of them in series and do 24. Or 48 is potentially a bit much. It probably would handle it, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, it's running on the edge of the envelope. In fact,
yeah.
slightly beyond it.
It is.
Yeah.
But you can actually out of that you can get quite a lot of power.
Yeah.
You can actually make some fairly interesting robots. So, for example, the Doodleborg, the 3 horsepower Doodleborg that we've got, is just running off 24 volts
Okay.
to 2 lead acid batteries. We very intentionally are running off lead acid and not off lithium polymer. A lot of people sort of say you should run a lithium polymer battery in it and whatever. I question their logic in a robot that weighs 130 kilograms or 120
Okay.
kilograms, but
But Tesla's. They weigh like a ton, right? But they've got a lot of stuff in them, right?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. When
We
it
are-
comes down to it, they're 18630 cells, 18650 cells, aren't they?
Yeah, I get very nervous because the lithium polymers, if you short circuit them, they don't have the right short circuit protection. They can explode. They can fizzle. There are all sorts of problems.
Yep.
You've seen what's happened with Samsung Galaxies and things like that. All those sort of problems that we've
And that's
had.
only a wee battery.
And the dodgy
Exactly.
hot balls
Yeah.
as well.
So I do get a bit nervous with lithium polymers, which is exactly why we've run AAs in this.
Yeah.
Because really, it's it's unlikely you're going to be able to hurt yourself with them. So
You were saying with the lead acid battery, they deal a lot better with like back EMF as well.
that's true. If you so back EMF is generated where you've got say you put power out to a motor and the motor's spinning really quickly. While that motor's spinning quickly, it's actually generating power back through. So if you were to say drive a robot down the hill, where the hill's sort of taking on momentum, it generates power back into your battery pack.
Yeah.
And
So
unless
unintentional
your
occurs.
control circuitry can deal with that, you can potentially be charging your battery. So, for example, if you've got a LiPo there, your LiPo is sort of getting to the point where it's starting to run out of battery power, which it's right at that don't overcharge me level, and you're putting all of that back into the LiPo, then that's potentially a fire explosion type scenario. So you've got to be quite careful with them.
Yeah.
Whereas a lead acid battery,
And if you're
it
lucky,
doesn't
you're at the bottom of the hill.
generally mind.
You've just created a fireball. towards you.
A rolling fireball down the hill.
Yeah,
exactly.
That could be kind of cool. Yeah. We should do that sometime. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Right.
Right.
Anything else we should talk about?
Stephen Swindy says there's a simulator for the Formula Pi racing, but do you have to be a competitor to get hold of it?
Yeah. Is that
There
right?
is. That's right. There is a simulator for Formula Pi. Now, do you have to be a competitor or not? That's
Is that kind
actually
of part of your
one.
£37?
That's yeah. So for the entry, you actually get the access to the code, and you get access to the simulator, etc. I'm not sure whether you can actually get the simulator without entry.
Okay.
That's probably a good question for Aaron. Probably best to ask that one on Formula Pi forum or PiBorg forum,
Okay.
and he can answer that. Basically, as Stephen says, we have a simulator. So before you're actually running, before you're competing with these, you can actually check your code just on a computer and run it, around many laps. Put other robots in front of it and see how it reacts.
Yeah.
And you can sort of sit there all evening and playing, and then when it comes to the actual test sessions or to the races, you should have code that is actually going to work. So that's the idea of that.
Cool. Awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
That'll be
Big sexy robots. Cool. Right. Okay. Let's talk a bit about Octacam.
OctoCam.
So Octacam is kind of simple, really. It's a Pi Zero and our Wii camera, which fits in a very small footprint. It's got 4 suckers on, which are just insanely powerful for what they are. I don't know if we've got something here we can test it on.
I think 4 is kind of overkill, isn't it? Hold on.
It's beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, the power in those. I think Nico had them hanging up with a whole screwdriver set hanging off them, and they stood there for a
Yeah, I
week.
saw that in the window
That's
as
the
I
end of
came in
that.
one morning. I thought,
And that was
what
just
are you
one
doing
sucker.
now?
Yeah. And the whole thing's just neat. Add your own SD card, hook it up, and it can do time lapse.
Don't
I
know
think
where to get it off now.
I think James Mitchell has just done a time lapse on a train in Berlin. He's put a Zero LiPo on the back and put an 18650 battery on, and it looks like the octopus has got a scuba tank.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all gone horribly.
We're also, that's the way it should be. They should come out of there first. Do you have the technique? You have the technique.
I have the
Good.
technique.
Yeah. So that's it's a good little system. If you're sticking it to a window, obviously there can be reflections there from double glazing and things. We're working on a proper solution for that.
Yeah, at the moment
Because
it's-
what you tend to do is you tend to have with some cameras, if you want to do through window stuff, you have a proper mask on it.
Yeah, like
like a
a
full
hood
hood,
that shades it.
But we're seeing if we can do some stuff around that, so you can get eliminate reflections from double glazing to get really good images. and a simple system that will probably end up with the octopus wearing a scuba mask to go with the scuba tank.
Cool.
So that's just a damn cute kit. It's 40 quid, including our camera in there and the 0W and the adapters to get it set up, a USB, micro USB cable for power, and the suckers and the octopus and all that. So it's sensible and a good way to get another Pi Zero
Great value.
and camera. Yeah.
I'd like to point out that the ceiling is in fact those horrible, horrible foam tiles, and there's just no way this is going to stick to the ceiling, and no way that the ceiling would take my weight.
Yeah, the
no,
tiles would
I'm
give
not
way
sticking
first.
to the ceiling and hanging from it.
Yeah. I think we can find something else. The table. Let's lift the table. Can't lift the table, surely.
We did that
Oh,
when we
it's
first
uneven.
got the suction cup thing.
iFixit ones.
From
Yeah.
iFixit. Me and Sandy, what the heck did we lift up? Something ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was incredible. I think we lifted the table with them.
Okay. Yeah. We
They
could.
were insanely strong.
Yeah, we could. We've got a fridge over here with our stuff in it. We could stick it to that to monitor the beer levels. Yeah.
Warning, warning. beer
Anyway,
removal.
great for windows, monitoring your garden. It's got a little desk stand on the back, so if you don't want to stick it to a window, it'll stand stably like that, even with the power cable from a Pi for a Pi off the side. And yeah, you should go get it, and we'll do a special on it. Sandy will take us through setting up motion IOS on Pi Zero, which will kind of show you when people are walking through your garden, or it gets slightly too
I
dark
see a lot
too
of Twitter
quickly.
accounts running those where it says, "Oh, latest tweets, we found a deer in the garden" or something like that.
That'd be cool,
It
yeah.
monitors stuff and everything.
Yeah.
Cool.
Actually, there are deer running around in my garden, but there's not, unfortunately.
Okay.
You never know. Have you monitored
Could,
your
could it be an
garden?
old deer? Just
No idea.
yeah. Anyway,
I think
yeah,
Nico
that's
had
good.
That problem.
The other thing was MagPi came out today. So run to your Sainsbury's, run to your WH Smiths.
Literally
It's-
run, because
it's
it's
like a
gonna be out of
box that
stock
thick.
otherwise.
It's a whole beautiful box, and inside it's got this whole kit to make your own, basically Google Home. All you need to do is add the Pi and your power supply and SD card. The Google kit comes with the speaker, a microphone hat or subboard, a control voice hat, arcade button which can illuminate, because that's how you tell it to listen to you. We'll take this one apart. And
Yeah,
it comes with a cardboard case
Yeah,
as well,
probably
but
wrong.
we didn't like that, so we have like our own kind of version 1 wooden case, which hopefully will turn out our own version to make it a bit more, awesome. Cool. So let's take a look inside this briefly and show you all the bits, because this isn't finished yet, so this will just fall apart
It's
at the
pretty
slightest
clever that it's all
provocation.
cardboard. It's quite robust too.
Yeah,
Right.
Google have been doing the whole cardboard thing.
Yeah, Google Cardboard.
Yeah, it is. It's another Google cardboard product, basically. So there's the guts of it. Tim, do you want to
Okay.
Yeah.
have a look on there? We can critique the board.
Okay. Right. So
Let's get it on the close-up.
How are we?
In fact, no, let's go super close-up.
Super close.
Close-upception.
Closeception.
Okay, well, let's put us over there. So you've got the little board hanging off there. That's where the microphones are.
Is that a dual microphone setup?
It's got the dual
So-
separated microphones. So it does the proper Google Home thing. Google Home has 2 microphones that are separated to do near or far field audio. And then you've got the voice hat where the microphone plugs into and the button. And then it's got a load of stuff on there. It's marked up to show servos, drivers, a speaker, all sorts of stuff. And it's got the same digital audio chip that Speaker Fat has on. So it's a
Yeah,
mono.
apparently the same DAC we use on all of our audio-y products. Well,
Hmm.
most of them anyway.
Yeah,
Which is
cool. Tom's asking if we'll do our own case. We'll see how it turns out. But yeah, a nice little Perspex one. If we can make it work and we can do it quickly, no reason we wouldn't share it. Because this was just the coolest thing to have on the MagPi. $5.99 for all this. Basically, Google have given it away, which
pretty much. Yeah.
just because they want you to start using their assistant, and that's kind of a lovely thing of them to do. Don't care, got toys.
Does this turn it into a Google Home kind of device, but doesn't
Yeah.
allow you to control things?
Maybe
necessarily?
not yet, but you know,
Maybe
this is
means
the
they
Raspberry
will-
Pi community.
They'll look into it.
So we haven't actually got it working set up yet, because Sandy was on the cusp of it, and then I stole his box because I'm evil. And on the bottom it says "Made by you" with Google. That's their tagline: "Made by you."
What does it say on the front?
So-
AIY.
AI yourself.
AI yourself.
Stop AIing yourself. Stop
Yeah.
AIing yourself. But you press the button and then you speak, and then it speaks back to you in the way the Google Assistant does. So it's good. We get to play with these things. It's awesome, and I think many hacks will happen. since we've already hacked Google Home to do a few things with Raspberry Pi. So yeah, the war is heating up in the assistant space. And currently Google are so winning in my heart.
They just need to make it easier for you to plug stuff into the other end of Assistant, so your average Pi users can say, I want to be able to say, turn on my lights, and my Pi can do that for me.
Yeah, can you imagine the chaos?
Yeah, someone needs to provide the middle ground to that at the moment, which is the trouble. You need to provide a service that talks to Google, but then lets people register their Pi.
Yeah.
And,
Sorry, I probably wasn't paying attention, but it's a stereo mic as well. You probably did mention that.
It's more than just stereo, isn't it? It's stereo with the separation, so they can do far field listening,
Oh, that's
so eliminating
fantastic.
noise. The Amazon Echo has like 8 of them
That's
for
a-
noise cancelling, but
Great.
Google said, we'll just do it in software, it'll be fine. It seems to be working out. Yeah,
incredible.
yeah.
I love the
Awesome
illuminated
stuff.
arcade button in there.
So I'm sure there will be a load of hacks growing out of that. Speaking of hacks, we tweeted earlier about somebody making a Braille screen, a Braille writer with Android things. Yeah, so it just has like 6 nubbins and it will write Braille.
Is that like a Braille screen, basically?
Yeah, that's it.
I
Yeah.
see.
Braille display. And that was really cool, so check that out on the tweets. Yeah. So that's all good. So that means I think we've covered everything this week, other than say, always make sure you have all sizes of robots, from the small to the really, really large. Any well-rounded person in these modern worlds should have their own little tiny fleet of robots to do their bidding.
That's super cool. So
If you
before
stick
we wrap up, when and where can people find Formula Pi?
Yes. Thank you. So if you go to formulapi.com, we do have links on there to basically we have a very similar sort of YouTube stream that we
Yeah.
run Monday in the UK 6:30 p.m.
Okay.
Which is 5:30.
A way more sociable time
GST,
than us
isn't
then.
Well, it's sort of a good time for people to get home and from work and be able to actually watch the stream. The same sort of thing. We have a nice little chat there where people can talk to us about it. Talk to us about sort of joining and how what their competition is, the strategy, and that sort of thing.
And you're looking for
And,
corporate sponsors for this season, yeah?
Well, we are actually.
Well, not
yes.
even corporate. Anyone who's willing to pony up, right?
Anyone who wants to point a cash,
You can have your logo around the edge of the track, right?
That's
So-
right.
Yeah.
your logo will actually be on the edge of the track, and it won't be
That's
green
right, yeah.
screened on
You
using
can-
camera trickery like they do
No,
these days in
no.
sport.
It's actually a physical logo.
Can we have it green
out.
screened on
tell
using
you-
camera trickery so it can be animated and everything? Rainbows.
We do
pepperoni
actually
scrolling across.
have a spin view in which we actually generate this was with the help of one of our competitors actually who wrote a nice little Java. He's basically responsible for the simulator.
Yep.
But what we do is we run through the simulator and we actually show before the races who is actually competing and lined up on the track.
Yep.
Via
Trickery.
Via
Nice.
trickery, and it looks fantastic. I'm really impressed with that. So maybe we could actually put some additional sponsorship in the background of that with
Okay.
logos spinning around. That's great.
Yeah.
I like
Are you
it.
going to do the football thing where you have kind of the managers of each robot doing their...
Check me out.
Yeah. No, don't do that. Okay.
Revolving slowly.
The
from
lovely
my
people, but the general public can't take that yet.
But
Yeah.
if you formulapi.com/dates, that gives you all the dates of when the rounds actually are on.
Yep.
And
Is there a Google Calendar thing so you can add it to your calendar so it reminds you?
You know that there isn't at the minute, but if I actually get 2 minutes, I will do that and send.
Because we're all rich on time, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quite.
But,
Right.
It's very much on the plan.
Cool. So this was a very shiny week for tech. Very shiny Bilge tank. So thank you very much for coming up to see us at last.
Thank
And
you
we need
for
to
having
return the favour and come down and see your shiny
Absolutely.
machine. I mean, come and see you. Yeah, because milling machines,
See all the
lathes.
lovely robots.
Yeah. Milling machines and lathes, man. I'm all about that now. I want to risk losing fingers. Yeah. Cool. All right. Let's go to the pub.
Great.
Don't
See you
forget
soon.
to like, comment,
Comment.
and
Subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the YouTubes and Facebooks.
God.
Yes.
Whatever people do.
Bye, folks.
Thing.
Great. Thank you.